The Blue Jackets take on the Lightning, 12 p.m. Eastern puck drop. Lightning up 3-1 in the series. Tampa Bay's the $1.75 favorite, totals 5.5 juice to the under. The Blue Jackets are plus 150 for some money line cash. I'm 2-0 in my last two NBA tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. I'm also 2-0 in my last two Better Friends tier package plays on that site as well. If you want access to these premium selections, link for that website is in the description section below. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. We got Eunice Corpusalo projected between the pipes for Columbus, Andre Vasilevsky for Tampa. Vasilevsky won 35 games for the Lightning this season. 256 goals against average, 917 save percentage. The Lightning are coming off a solid 2-1 victory over Columbus in Game 4, where they held them scoreless in the first and third periods, respectively. The Lightning's giving up just 2.2 goals per contest on average in this series. They also rank in the top 3 in the league in scoring on average per game. Braden Point has 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 total points in the postseason for the Lightning. Nikita Kucherov leads the club in assists with 4, and Alex Killorn has 4 points in the postseason as well. Tampa's won 9 out of their last 11 versus the Atlantic Division. They're also winning 62% of their games away from the Amalie Arena in South Florida. Tampa gives up just 2.7 goals per contest for the entire season. They're taking on a Columbus team who's dropped 5 out of their last 8, averaging just 1.6 goals per contest in those defeats. CBJ is in the bottom 3 in the league in scoring on average per game. They're averaging just 2.5 goals per contest. They're also ranking in the bottom 10 in shots allowed away from home. The Blue Jackets have been victorious in just 5 out of their last 16 conference games. Now, total-wise, the Blue Jackets' last 5 straight stayed under the total of 5.5 goals. 10 out of their last dozen also stayed under that number. Meanwhile, on the Tampa side, they saw their last 8 straight stay under the 5.5 themselves. 10 out of their last dozen also stayed under that number themselves. Quite a coincidence. Give me the Lightning winning this one outright and the under 5.5 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Wednesday's NHL Stanley Cup playoff action. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. The weekend is right around the corner. Now, before we go ahead and dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we are 2-0 in our last two NBA tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also hitting at 63% in our last 30 NBA tier package plays on that site as well. If you want some more information on how you can join in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on, we're going to take a look at the Canes Bruins 4 p.m. Eastern start time. Boston's up 3-1 in the series. The Bruins are minus 145, totals 5.5 juice to the under. The Canes are the plus 120 underdog. And if you like Carolina to cover, they're minus 250, catching the 1.5 on the puck line. Looks like it's going to be Peter Mrazek for the Hurricanes, Jaro Halak for the Bruins. The Bruins have won their last 2 straight, taking games 3 and 4 from the Hurricanes. Not phased with their goalie quitting. Boston came back from a 2-0 Tuukka Rask came back from a 2-0 deficit in Game 4 to rip off 4 straight goals in a matter of a couple of minutes to catapult themselves past Carolina. Boston scored 13 goals in the series while holding the Canes to just 2.5 goals per game. Jaro Halak has a goals against average of .239. He's also saving 92% of the shots he's facing. The Bruins are in the top 10 in the league in offensive shots per game, top 3 in goals allowed. They're giving up just 2.5 goals per contest for the season. And despite Pasternak still being listed as questionable, the Bruins are being led by Brad Marchand, who scored 3 goals and has 4 assists in the postseason. David Krejci has 5 assists, 7 total points for him. And defenseman Connor Clifton is +2 when he's on the ice as well. Boston's won 9 out of their last 10 meetings with Carolina. Now, total-wise, 6 out of the Bruins' last 8 stayed under the total of 5.5 goals. 13 out of Boston's last 16 conference games stayed under the posted total as well. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, the Hurricanes saw 7 out of their last 11 stay under the 5.5 themselves. 5 out of the Canes' last 7 conference games stayed under the posted total as well. So with all that said and done, give me the Bruins winning this one outright and the under 5.5 in that game. Next contest, it is going to be Coyotes Avalanche, 5:30 p.m. East. Colorado's up 3-1 in the series. The Avalanche are the $2.25 favorite, heavily favored in this one. Total's 5.5, juice to the under. The Coyotes are plus 185 for an upset win. And if you like Arizona on the puck line, they're minus 155 catching the goal and a half. Looks like Darcy Kemper back between the pipes for the Coyotes. Philip Grubauer for Colorado. The Avalanche are 6-2 straight up in their last 8. 27 total goals scored during that stretch. Colorado is winning 65% of their games away from home. Top 3 in scoring in the league. Nazem Kadri currently leads the club in postseason goals and points. He's put the puck in the net 4 times along with 5 assists. Nate McKinnon has 7 assists in the postseason as well. 9 total points for Nate. And of course, defenseman Cale Makar leads the team in plus-minus. He's currently +6 when he's on the ice. Mikko Rantanen's also +5 as well. In addition to ranking in the top 10 in the NHL in offensive shots per game, the Avalanche, they are giving up just 2.6 goals per contest for the entire season. They've gone 7-3 straight up in their last 10 versus the Coyotes. And speaking of Arizona, they're coming fresh off a 7-1 beatdown in Game 4 of this series. They were also shut out in the series opener 3-0 as well. Certainly getting their fair share of beatdowns. But anyway, the Coyotes have been victorious in just 4 out of their last 10 and ranking the bottom 10 in the league in scoring on average per game. They're averaging just 2.7 goals per contest in that category. The Coyotes also won just 38% of their games when catching plus money this year. Arizona's in the bottom 5 in the league in shots allowed, bottom 5 in scoring away from home. Now, total-wise, 6 out of Arizona's last 9 got over the total of 5.5 goals. Arizona's officially 67% to the over in their last dozen as well. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Colorado side, 6 out of their last dozen got over the total of 5.5 goals themselves. Give me the Avalanche, minus 1.5, and the over 5.5 goals in that contest. Next matchup, Canadiens, Flyers, 8 p.m. Eastern puck drop. Phillies up 3-1 in the series. The Flyers are minus 150, totals 5.5, juice to the under. The Canadiens are plus $1.25 for some money line cash. And if you like them on the puck line, they're minus 250, catching the goal and a half. Carey Price for Montreal, Carter Hart for Philadelphia. The Flyers have held Montreal scoreless in games 3 and 4 of this series, respectively. 2 back-to-back shutout wins. The Flyers have given up just 6 total goals in this series, and they rank in the top 3 in the league in shots allowed. Now, Carter Hart's got a 2.42 goals against average, .914 save percentage. The Flyers have won 71% of their games this season when laying the juice. Philadelphia is currently 15-2 straight up in their last 17 outings. Scotty Lawton leads the club in postseason goals and points. He's got 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 total points. Kevin Hayes has 5 assists in this postseason as well. And Phil Myers, an impressive +7 when he's been on the ice in the postseason as well. The Flyers are allowing just 2.7 goals per contest for the entire season. They're 13-2 straight up in their last 15 conference matchups. They're taking on a Montreal team who just can't seem to score. And for the exception of a 5-goal effort in Game 2, this Montreal squad has scored just 1 other goal throughout the entire series. The Canadiens have won just 40% of their games this year when catching plus money. They've also been victorious in just 4 out of their last 14 contests against Philly. Now, total-wise, 8 out of the Canadiens' last 11 games stayed under the total of 5.5 goals. 5 out of their last 6 head-to-head meetings with the Flyers also stayed under the posted total as well. Meanwhile, on the other side, we're looking at a Philly team who, saw 9 out of their last 10 contests officially stay under the posted total themselves. So with all that in mind, give me the Flyers winning this one outright and the under 5.5 in that contest. All right, next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Canucks Blues, 10:30 p.m. East. Now this one's knotted up at 2 games apiece. St. Louis is the $1.50 favorite. Totals 5.5 juice to the under. The Canucks are plus $1.25 for an outright win. And if you like Vancouver to cover the 1.5, well, they're minus 250 on the puck line. We have Jacob Markstrom for Vancouver, Jake Allen for the Blues. And despite being able to tie this one up after dropping 2-0 in the series, this St. Louis team, they've lost 6 out of their last 9 games. Kind of cold right now. Getting cold at the wrong time of the season. The Blues rank in the bottom 10 in offensive shots per game. 2-5 straight up in their last 7 conference matchups. They're taking on a Vancouver club who's won 5 out of their last 7 themselves, averaging 4.2 goals per contest in those victories. Now, Jake Markstrom's won 23 games for this Vancouver club this season. 2.75 goals against, .918 save percentage. The Canucks are in the top 10 in scoring, 5-2 straight up in their last 7 versus the Central Division. Bo Horvat currently leads the club in postseason goals. He scored 6 times along with a couple assists. Eli Pettersson has 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 total points himself. And Quinn Hughes leads the club in postseason assists as well. He's got 8 assists along with a goal. And when it comes to the number in this one, 17 out of Vancouver's last 23 contests got over the total of 5.5 goals. The Canucks went 66% to the over in their games away from their home ice this season. So certainly some figures to consider there. Meanwhile, the Blues on the other side saw 4 out of their last 8 stay under the 5.5 themselves. I'm sorry. Let's try that again, guys. Hang on. Give me 1 second. I wrote these notes here. Okay, the Blues on the other side. There we go. Let's hammer it home, Brock. The Blues on the other side saw 4 out of their last 8 get over the 5.5 themselves. Give me the underdog Canucks plus $1.25 and the over 5.5 in that game. Just wanted to make sure we got things right. It didn't look right to me, but it was right. I second-guessed myself, and I shouldn't have. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you decide to sign up for a package here today, just keep in mind we bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.